unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
In this Veterans Day edition of Daily Iowan TV,
find out what the campus is doing in honor of our veterans on this special day.
Iowans saw snow today. I'll let you know what to expect the rest of the week and weather in just a bit.
And in sports, the Hawkeyes are going bowling once again.
All that and more next.
Daily Iowan TV is ready to go.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for being with us this Monday evening for Daily Iowan TV. I'm Christina Targos.
And I'm Brad Maxwell.
Today we are celebrating Veterans Day, which is a holiday that honors people who have served in the armed services. Across the nation, Americans are commemorating veterans with a variety of events. Daily Iowan TV's Kelsey Cuniff has the details on what the UI is doing for veterans and current troops.
Veterans Day is a federal holiday celebrated on November 11th. The University of Iowa's Military and Veteran Student Services hosted a day of celebratory events. One veteran discussed what this day means to him.
I think Veterans Day basically is to celebrate service and to celebrate the common bond that veterans share with each other, that we're the ones that went out there and put our butts on the lines, and we're the ones that served. And even though all of us didn't go to war and all of us aren't combat vets, we all served, and I think that everybody appreciates that. So we kind of wanted to turn it into a celebration and get it away from the somber, remembering the dead and all that stuff.
Before the presentation of the Guard, 5,850 flags were displayed in the middle of the Pentacrest to celebrate the day. There are about 1,300 veterans among the UI staff, faculty, and students, so the UI took it a step further for the veterans and current troops. Cards and care packages were assembled to be sent to currently deployed troops, giving everyone at the UI a chance to say thank you to the veterans for serving our country and for everything that you do. As for what veterans and current members want out of today,
best thing that you can do for people today that you see that are either in uniform or kind of that you know that are in the military, just give them a smile and shake their hand and thank them, because really that's all we can ask for. Knowing that we're appreciated is kind of the best gift that you can get.
And the home of the Kelsey Cuniff, Daily Iowan TV.
If you want to get involved and help out veterans, you can contact Alan Roberts or visit the Military and Vet Student Services.
In addition to celebrating our veterans, there's one more achievement that needs to be recognized this Veterans Day: the benefits of the post-9/11 GI Bill. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs announced on Friday that 1 million veterans have benefited from the post-9/11 GI Bill since it began in August of 2009. More than $30 billion have been distributed in tuition and other education payments to the veterans, funding 100% of a public four-year undergraduate education. This bill also provides the ability for a veteran to transfer these benefits to a spouse or child after the veteran himself serves 10 years in the military.
It pays for my tuition. It gives me money for housing so I can actually afford to live in an apartment, and it gives me a book stipend for the year, and without it I would not be able to afford to go to Iowa, so it's really the only reason that I'm here.
There are many different divisions of the GI Bill, but as of right now, the post-9/11 division has been the most influential portion, helping some of our University of Iowa students achieve their college education.
And now we'll look at what's happening beyond Iowa. The United Nations and other world rescue teams are gearing up relief efforts following the super typhoon Haiyan, which tore through the Philippines and other parts of Southeast Asia late last week. With winds that reached up to 235 miles per hour, the typhoon is one of the largest storms ever recorded in history. The death toll is expected to be about 10,000 people and counting. The U.S. and other governments are launching a major relief effort to help flood victims. The American Red Cross sent a small team to assess the situation and help track victims' family members.
Much more still coming your way on Daily Iowan TV.
Dance Marathon threw it back to the 90s last week, celebrating 20 years of hard work.
And in Political Alert, we'll talk Republican rumors for 2016 presidential candidates.
And in sports, your latest edition of the Whip Around.
But first, we'll hand it off to Daily Iowan TV's Marissa Mahalik for your weather forecast. And Marissa, please tell me we're not going to get any more snow, or at least it's not going to stick around.
Thanks, Brad. Although we saw some snow today, it doesn't look like we'll be seeing any more of it the rest of the week. Tomorrow morning, we will start off the day at 19 degrees. By the time afternoon rolls around, it'll be 30 degrees and sunny. Tomorrow evening should be clear and 27 degrees. And looking ahead to the rest of the week, Wednesday we can expect to see sunny skies with temperatures in the 40s. Thursday will be 46 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. And this weekend we should see partly cloudy skies and temperatures lingering around the upper 40s. Brad and Christina, that's all I have tonight for weather. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk after this quick message.
Iowa SJMC.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere?
I joined and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
SJMC.
The UI's largest student organization, Dance Marathon, hosted their 100 Days Out event last Thursday. 90s was the theme of the night, throwing it back to the very first Dance Marathon main event in 1994. Daily Iowan TV's Kara Bimschlager has more on the story.
Scrunchies, snapbacks, and seashell necklaces filled the IMU main lounge in true 90s fashion last Thursday evening. The occasion? To celebrate 100 days out from this year's main Dance Marathon event. Also on the agenda, event director Becca Mitsos says commemorating 20 years since the first main event.
90s kids are like really trending right now because we're all 90s kids, and because Dance Marathon was started in the 90s, it's kind of a really cool way to play into something trendy, something that means a lot to us, but also to kind of commemorate our history.
With entertainment, games, and of course dancing, hundreds of students fled to the IMU, donning their organization's signature color, lime green, a color that has come to represent a lot more than just dancing to students.
Lime green is the color of my heart permanently.
In 1995, the first event raised $31,000, a number that has steadily increased over the years to now be at over $1.5 million. In its 20 years, the organization has raised over $12.7 million, a number they hope to increase this year with the help of events like 100 Days Out. This is Kara Bimschlager, Daily Iowan TV.
Dance Marathon hosts various types of events like this one year-round, leading up to the main event in February to get students excited and prepared.
We're now going to send it over to Reed Chandler in the studio for tonight's edition of the Political Alert. Reed?
Welcome back to Political Alert. Now, last Tuesday we had our annual elections, and while we focused mainly on the issues in Iowa City, now's a good time to recap some of the national headlines coming out of the 2013 polls. And nothing has been a hotter topic all week than New Jersey Governor Chris Christie's landslide re-election victory against his Democratic opponent, Barbara Buono. Christie's a Republican, and in 2009, he barely defeated the Democratic governor at the time by 3 points. This time, however, he managed to earn a staggering 61% of the votes, and not just from conservatives. He captured a large portion of female voters who usually support Democrats in the state. He increased the amount of African Americans, voting for him this time around, and actually snagged 3 in 10 Democrats at the polls. So what's this mean for us Iowans? Well, the first thing people like to talk about after an election is the next big election. And while the 2016 presidential race is still 3 years out, every Sunday morning political talk show last week focused on this question. Will Chris Christie consider running for president? Some other Republicans rumored to be interested in the Republican nomination include Texas Governor Rick Perry, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, all Tea Party Republicans, with Rand Paul claiming to be a libertarian. Christie differentiates himself in that he's a moderate, someone who is closer to the middle of both parties. So while he wouldn't comment on whether or not he's interested in the White House, his landslide victory certainly has put him in the spotlight, so keep an eye out. That's all I have on this edition. Back to you.
And it was a busy weekend in Hawkeye sports. Let's toss it over to Alyssa Bergamini over in the sports studio for more. Alyssa?
Thanks, guys. Well, it was a busy weekend indeed. The Hawkeyes became bowl eligible with Saturday's win over Purdue. Both soccer and field hockey played for Big Ten championships, and there was a shakeup at the top of the BCS standings. However, let's start off tonight by getting caught up with Hawkeye soccer and field hockey with a special edition of this week's Whip Round. Guys, take it away.
Thanks, guys, and welcome to Monday evening's edition of the Whip Around. I'm here at a very cold and snowy Grant Field. This weekend, the Iowa field hockey team traveled to Columbus, Ohio for the Big Ten tournament. Iowa won their first and second round games over Michigan and Penn State, respectively, earning them the right to play in Sunday's title game with Michigan State. Iowa jumped out to an early 2-0 lead, dominated the first half, and got goals from Natalie Cafone and Kelsey Mitchell. However, after the half was a totally different story for the Hawkeyes. Michigan State scored 3 unanswered, including 2 from tournament MVP Abby Barker, and ended up winning the game by a score of 3-2, ending the Hawkeyes season with their final record of 13-8. If there's any silver lining for the Hawkeyes, it's that Cafone and Danny Hemian were named to the all-tournament team. Signing off from the 2013 Iowa field hockey season, I'm Danny Payne. Now we're going to send it over to Jalen Sochak, who's standing by. Jalen?
Thanks, Danny. Unfortunately for the Iowa soccer team, they too fell short in their Big Ten run. Iowa faced off against top-seeded Nebraska in the Big Ten championship, but were unable to overcome the Huskers in a 0-1 loss. Iowa held the advantage with 16 shots to Nebraska's 11, but only managed 3 on goal. Prior to the championship game, Iowa took on Michigan and Penn State. Iowa beat Michigan for the first postseason win in program history. Melanie Picker and Hannah Clark were both selected to the Big Ten All-Tournament team. And now we'll toss it to Taylor Axelson with more on the women's volleyball team. But first, congratulations to the Iowa soccer team on their Big Ten run.
Thanks, Jalen. The Iowa volleyball team struggled again this past week as they lost both to Wisconsin and Minnesota. This now leaves their Big Ten season record at 1-13. Even though with all the losses, the seniors are having a successful season individually. Alex Lavelle has surpassed her 1,000th kill. Bethany Yeager is 3 digs away from breaking the all-time school record. And 4-year starter Nikki Daly is 6th in career assists, which is over 3,000. That's it for your Monday evening whip around. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, crew, and hopefully you stayed warm after that. Also announced this evening, Ron Rainey's soccer crew will be playing in the NCAA tournament. They will face Notre Dame on Friday. And now let's turn our attention to the football field, where the Hawkeyes return to the basics on Saturday, racking up 318 yards on the ground against the Boilermakers. Now, to break down Iowa's 38-14 victory over Purdue, let's toss it over to Jordan Cabielas and Cody Goodwin in the film room. Guys?
Thanks, Alyssa. Jordan Cabielas alongside Cody Goodwin. Cody, Hawkeyes reached that magic number of 6 wins on Saturday to become bowl eligible. How did they do it?
They did it a lot by just going back to the kind of offensive team they are, and that's running the football. We know Rudock had a good day, but we're going to go to the film here to look at a Jordan Canzeri run. Canzeri looking like the Canzeri of old. We're going to pause it here. Look at that circle of blockers they have for Jordan Canzeri. It literally looks like a circle, Jordan. Beautifully job done by the offensive line, by the tight ends, everybody involved on the play as it proceeds. Canzeri is able to just cut through that defense of Purdue. That was his longest run of the game. He led all Iowa running backs, and he looked like the Canzeri of old who started in the 2011 Insight Bowl, which, ironically, was the last time Iowa was at a bowl game.
Exactly. Those 165 yards for Canzeri on Saturday, a career high, and nearly doubled his season total. Hawkeyes will now have the week off before welcoming in Michigan on the 23rd. Alyssa, back to you.
Thanks for that, Jordan and Cody. And finally, there was a bit of a shakeup in the top 5 of the week's BCS standings. Both Alabama and Florida State remain 1 and 2, but Ohio State benefits from Oregon's loss to Stanford and ascends to number 3, their highest ranking since week 2 of the season. Stanford and Baylor also move up to fill out the top 5, with Oregon falling to 6. As we look at the rest of the top 25, an interesting and potentially complicated finish shaping up with 2 non-AQ teams, Fresno State and Northern Illinois, battling for an automatic berth in a BCS Bowl. Only one can earn the bid, and both are neck and neck at 14 and 15. The 2 other Big Ten schools in the top 25, Michigan State and Wisconsin, move up to 16 and 22 respectively. Unfortunately, guys, that's all the time we have for tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for everything black and gold. Brad, Christina, back to you two.
Daily Iowan TV is the only place to see what's going to be in Tuesday morning's Daily Iowan. The university is set to unveil a new program for student veterans.
And read about the plans to make City Park Pool ADA compliant. That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.